Good morning, good morning, good morning, my brothers and sisters. Good morning, and welcome to another Good Morning Grief Devotion. It's your boy, Pastor Corey Allen Duncan Sr. So happy to be here with you on today to lead you in a very special way and get another grief devotion. This is the daily grief devotion that is strategically designed to help you to navigate through your grief one day at a time. What is grief? I'm so glad you asked. Grief, my brothers and sisters, it is the natural and normal response to loss, change, and transition that results in the expressions of feelings and emotions. Grief is what you feel on the inside. Mourning is what you reveal on the outside. Therefore, we don't suppress it, but we express it. We don't ignore it, but we explore it. We don't lie. We don't conceal it, but we reveal it. We don't lock it up, but we let it out. And that's why we shout good morning, because mourning is a good thing. And if you're dealing with loss, change, and transition, we primarily focus on death, but any of that, this is the place where you want to be, right? We acknowledge your grief journey and we want to help you to navigate through your grief journey in a very meaningful way. So I want to say welcome. I want to say thank you for joining us. Make sure you like, share, tag somebody in this post if it's a blessing to you. 9 times out of 10, right? 10 times out of 10, it's going to be a blessing to them. So don't be stingy. Don't be selfish. Bless somebody with what we are doing here in this grief forum. Today, my brothers and sisters, is day 61, and we are going to talk about, here it is, I move toward my grief. I am moving toward my grief. Let's talk about it. Sometimes people imply that feeling bad is a choice. They tell me that I deserve to be happy and they congratulate me if I talk about more positive things. They encourage me to move away from my grief, get away from the grief instead of moving towards it. Beware of those type of people. Those people are ignorant, right? Ignorant is the absence of knowledge. They just don't have the knowledge of what the grief journey is all about. And so what do? Feeling bad is a choice. They think that feeling bad is a choice, that what you're feeling, they think you're choosing to feel this way. They think you're choosing to feel how you feel as you navigate through grief. They think that you are choosing to be depressed and angry and down in the dumps and all of this stuff. Baby girl, baby boy, right? They think it's a choice and that we can just choose to be different. It's not. That's not the way it works. They tell me that I deserve to be happy and they congratulate me if I talk about more positive things. Yeah, right? They encourage me to move away from my grief instead of towards it. Sometimes, let me give you a little insight. Some people just they want absolution. They want to absolve themselves. They want to absolve themselves from the responsibility of having to cater to you or minister to you or to deal with your grief. They don't know how to deal with your pain. They don't know how to deal with your suffering. They don't know how to deal with what you're going through, and they want to absolve themselves from the responsibility. So they want you to be positive and they want you to be upbeat and they want you to move away from your grief because they don't want the responsibility of having to deal with you in that particular state. Yeah, this is the God's heaven's truth, right? And a lot of times they don't know what to say and do. So this is the type of stuff that happens. But this is what you got to know and understand. Here it is. They encourage you to move away from your grief instead of towards it. That is the worst thing you can do. That means you're suppressing and not expressing. That means you're suppressing and not addressing. That means you are ignoring and not exploring. That means you're concealing and not revealing. That means you locking it up and you letting it out. They want you to move away from your grief instead of moving toward your grief. And if you've been rocking with me for any amount of time, you know and understand, right, that you move toward your grief. You befriend your grief, right? That this is the time and opportunity for you to befriend your grief, to move toward your grief as you navigate through your grief journey in this pivotal circumstance. So what are you supposed to do? Let me put you up on game. When I'm feeling my grief, I need to move towards it. When you're feeling your grief, you need to move towards. Stop stopping yourself from having your moments. Stop stopping yourself from crying. Stop stopping yourself from feeling what you need to feel. Because it starts to rise up and you suppress it. It starts to rise up and you push it back down, right? It starts to rise up and you suppress it. Start to rise up and you push it back down. No, when it rises up, you got to let it out. What you feeling, what you're dealing with, what you're going through, but when that thing rises up, let it come all the way out, right? When it starts to come up, don't ignore it, explore what you feeling. Release it. Release brings about relief. Come on. And so that's what you got to know and that's what you got to understand. I need to move towards it. And for those of you who have been suppressing, for those of you who have been ignoring, you've been running away. And maybe it's been 3 months, or maybe it's been a year. Maybe it's been two or three, and you've never dealt with the loss, change, or transition that you went through. No, no, it's time to move towards it. It's time to move towards the death, and how you feel about it, and articulate it and express it. It's time to move toward the divorce that you went through, because you ain't talked about it. You just suppressed it. But it's time to peel. It's time to go back. It's time to move toward. Come on, whatever loss, change, or transition you went through. If you have not properly processed it, it's time to revisit it. It's time to move towards it, right? Because that's where you're going to find your freedom, your liberty, your happy, and your healing. I need to turn it. I need to turn towards it, acknowledge it and express it. I need to feel it to heal it. I'm going to turn towards it. I'm going to acknowledge it and express it. I need to feel it to heal it. You hear that? I need to feel it to heal it. I need to feel it and reveal it to heal it. I'm going to add the reveal. It's time to turn towards it, acknowledge and express. Acknowledge what happened. Express what happened. You were done wrong. They did you bad. They fired you unjustly. You lost a loved one. You lost a friendship. You lost a relationship. You lost the house that you love. You lost the car that you drove. You lost your pet, your puppy, and you never talked about it. You never expressed it. Loss, change, and transition. Whatever you transition into, whatever change is taking place in your life, you have to change geographical locations, and you never begin to unpack that. It's time to turn towards it and express it, right? It's time to turn toward it, to acknowledge it and express. You got to feel it to heal it. You got to feel it to heal it. Most of you will never heal it because you never feel it. You got to feel it and reveal it to heal it. It's time to move towards it. Denial and distraction are okay sometimes, right? Coping mechanisms, sometimes. We don't live there, we don't linger there. But denial and distraction, they okay sometimes, right? Because some of us, we want to stay distracted. Oh, not today. I'm going to work, or I'm doing this. It's okay sometimes, right? We don't live there. We don't linger there, but it's okay sometimes. But if I deny and distract too much, I'm only setting myself up for long-term problems. It's a defense mechanism to help us to navigate certain things. It's okay sometimes, but if you distract too much, if you distract and deny for too long, you're setting yourself up for long term problems. And for some of us, that's what we are experiencing right now. We are experiencing long term problems because we denied too long, we denied too much. And now we are paying the price of that denial. Check this out, y'all, and I'm going to let you go. Final thought: I seek out opportunities to be vulnerable and authentic because that's where the magic happens. I seek out opportunities to be vulnerable and authentic because that's where the magic happens. I want to encourage you, seek out opportunities, safe places, safe spaces to be vulnerable, to be authentic, because that's where the magic happens. Today is day 61. We just had some fun. I move toward my grief. Come on, holler at your boy one time for the one time. If you got questions, drop them like it's hot. If you got questions or comments that you like to share, I'll take them at this time. If you got them, I'll take them, right? If you got them, I'll take them. When you are feeling your grief, you need to move towards it, period. Period. If you got them, I'll take them. If you got them, I'll take them. If you got them, I'll take them. We don't run away from it. Don't run away from the truth. We run towards it. We run towards the messes. Burt's Bees is the greatest. I should get an endorsement deal. Burt's Bees is pineapple. It's absolutely phenomenal. I love it. Any questions? Questions, comments? Y'all be a little quiet. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all with the love of the Lord. Continue to pray for y'all in your grief journey, man. Continue to move forward. Do what God desires and requires for you to do. Continue to navigate through this journey in a special way. What if you have no words for your grief? What if you have no words for your grief? And so you're talking about what you're going through and what you're dealing with. If you have no words for it. So this is the thing. You feel some type of way. Sometimes you just may sit and cry, and that's okay. Sometimes you just may sit and cry. But grief is what you feel, mourning is what you reveal, right? So you feel something, right? You feel something. Maybe you might have a hard time articulating it, but you feel something about whatever has happened, right? Whatever has happened. You feel something. What do you feel? Right? It's revealing what you feel. It's revealing what you feel. If you at peace with it, reveal, oh, I'm at peace with it. If you're angry, if you're depressed, if you're hurt, it's however it makes you feel, however you're processing. Remember, grief is what you feel, mourning is what you reveal, right? And sometimes you just may sit and cry, right? So sometimes you just may sit and cry, and that's how you express yourself. Um, but you feel something, right? You feel something. And I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. So whatever you're talking about, Miss Coates, whatever you're dealing with, whatever you're talking about, um, I don't know what your loss, change, and transition is, but you feel something regarding that, right? Somebody said cryathon. That's right. We're going to have a cryathon. You feel something regarding the loss, change, and transition, right? As you process what has taken place, as you process what has happened, as you process the current state that you're in, right? It's like, how do you feel? How do you feel? How do you feel about what's happened? How do you feel about, yes, yeah, you feel it. Yeah, 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 yeah. And so you reveal what you feel, whatever that feeling is. You reveal how it made you feel. You reveal where you are. You reveal what are your fears, what are your worries, what are your stresses, what's your anxiety, what you know what I'm saying? What do you feel? What do you feel? And that's the grief. That's expressing outwardly what you feel in sad, hurt, and angry. Bam, there you go. There you go. So you start to peel that back, right? In safe places and safe spaces, you start to feel a bit sad, sad because, hurt because, angry because, right? What about it makes you sad, right? Let's express the hurt. What about it causes you to hurt or makes you hurt? What about it? You know what I'm saying? Tell us about the anger, right? And so you start. That's what you start to reveal. You put yourself in safe places and safe spaces where you start to peel those layers back. Let's explore. Let's process the sadness. Let's process the hurt. Let's process the anger, right? And so that's when you begin to reveal. Otherwise, you suppress. So you're walking around feeling sad, hurt, and angry, but you're not expressing it. You're not telling nobody. You're not even acknowledging it, right? You're not acknowledging it. And I love it because it's like the lesson says. Let me go back to the slide. It's like the lesson says, um, I need to move towards it. So you move toward the sadness. You move toward the hurt. You move toward the anger. You need to turn it around. Right? I mean, you turn towards it. You acknowledge it and express it. You got to feel it to heal it, right? You got to feel it to heal it. So you acknowledge it and you express it, right? You start to suppression is my default setting. There it is. Ding 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 ding. Yep, it's your default setting. So you suppress it and it piles up. And when you suppress it, it becomes problematic, right? When you suppress it, God has given you release valves for a reason. So those release valves, they help release brings about relief, right? And if that's your default setting, and that, we could explore that later as to why do we something happened in the past that just caused us to suppress what we feel. But if you understand that and well, this is my default setting, so I got to fight against this, that I cannot continue to default to this particular setting because it's more detrimental than instrumental. So I got to fight to put myself in safe places and safe spaces where I can express, right? Where I can articulate, that I'm not going to default to suppressing, because ultimately it's going to do more damage. You will never be free. You got to feel it to heal it. And if you don't feel it to heal it, you'll never be free. So you will allow your grief to hold you captive. You will allow your grief to keep you in bondage, right? You'll never be free if you continue to default to this particular setting. So you got to put yourself in that place where you can release, because release brings about relief, right? That's so very important. So very important. So very important. Does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense. Let me know if that makes sense. So true. Thank you. You are so very welcome. You are so very welcome. The journey has been long. Yeah, the journey is long. It is long. It is long. So, Miss Coates, I mean, I want to put your feet to the fire. I want you. I want to hold you accountable. I want you to. I really, whatever you're dealing with and going through, I want you to be able to put yourself in a safe place and safe space where you can do that. And so, whether it's a therapist, a counselor, a coach, a pastor, somewhere, right, that you don't want to continue to default to the setting of suppression, because you'll never be free. You'll never be free. There will never be liberty, right, in your life. And so you got to be at a place where you can do just that. And so, yeah, I'll follow up with you and see what measures have you taken, because we don't want you to keep defaulting to that. You got to feel it. You got to feel it to heal it. Yeah, this is true. This is true. Anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody else? Good morning, Brandy Woodall. All right. Well, I appreciate y'all. Love y'all with the love of the Lord. Great devotion this morning. Y'all looking forward to our continued growth and development. Yes, feel it to heal it. And that's what we don't want to do. We try to avoid feeling it, but you gotta feel it to heal it. You got to feel it to heal it. You got to feel it to heal it. And that's on the period. So all right. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all with the love of the Lord. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Same time, same station. Feel it to heal it. Let's go.